familiar with that. This is the one that I thought was darling.
Oh, that looks so German, doesn't it?
Right? I think it might be a Hummel. That's weird.
Yeah, 736.
Hey friends, it's Alex with bfVintage. I am here at the Salvation Army with my mom,
Hi,
Anna.
everybody. Hi.
And we're gonna see if we can find some treasures for my Etsy shop, BF Treasures Co. So let's do it. We shall find treasures. We shall. This is the way. Okay, so the first thing that I picked up was this vintage handbag. It does say La Regale, handmade in Macau. I'm somewhat familiar with these. I know oftentimes they are vintage. They're not always worth a lot of money, but I noticed that it had this spot to hang the chain, and then the other side did not have that. So it was definitely damaged, and even though the beading was really pretty and didn't have really any damage on the outside, I definitely put it back for that reason. Then I saw this really sweet and darling mug. It just caught my eye. It looked a little kitsch with those little sweet ducks on it. And then I was on a mug kick because I found this mug. The rainbow handle definitely caught my eye. And I was just trying to figure out the content. And as it turns out, it's Noah's Ark, and it's got all the little baby animals on there. So it was very sweet. But I did think that it was likely modern. And it didn't have any damage, but I did end up leaving that behind. So you're familiar with that. This is the one that I thought was darling.
Oh, that looks so German, doesn't it?
Right? I think it might be a Hummel. That's weird.
Yeah, 736.
So, guys, I'm still learning stuff, and it did say Hummel on the front. I don't know how I missed that, and it did say Goebel on the back. I'm actually not entirely sure if it's both. Maybe Goebel and Hummel are the same thing. I do know it's German for sure. And also I do know that the Hummel figurines don't tend to be worth as much. So I decided to pass on it, even though it was super cute, and I'm regretting it now because it was so sweet. And then I found this lusterware, looked like a sugar bowl, but it was missing its lid. So even though it had that beautiful iridescent shine, and it did say Bavaria, Germany on the bottom, and it had these little plates to go with it, two little plates and one sugar bowl that's missing a lid just wasn't going to work for me. Next, I saw these mugs, and obviously it's pottery, but it had some severe damage, and that was definitely a letdown because I just thought they were really beautiful. And I'm not always drawn to this kind of pottery, but just the detail and the painting of them was really pretty. Next, I saw this sweet little darling music box. Isn't she adorable? On the bottom here, it does say Tune Bomb's Lullaby. Bassam's Lullaby. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I just loved her. I just loved how her little butt's sticking up, and she did have a Japan sticker on the bottom. I was asking my mom to test her out to see if she was still working. Unfortunately, it was not. So that was really a letdown because I really liked her, and she was in really good condition otherwise. So yeah, it was really, really disappointing. And you may have just heard my cat. She was very disappointed as well. So anyways, I ended up putting her down, even though it was really hard to do that. And I moved on and found this vintage umbrella. I was drawn to the handle immediately, just the wooden handle, the shape of it. And then the top of it, I was trying to determine if the top had something broken off of it, but it didn't. And so then, I may have bad luck for the rest of my life for doing this, but I did open it up inside the store. I just wanted to make sure that it was functioning. There weren't any tears, and there weren't. And I've actually been on the hunt for like a vintage umbrella to use here in Arizona, especially like if I'm at a flea market and it's really, really sunny out. It'd be nice to have something like this, or during the monsoon season where we actually do get quite a bit of rain. So yeah, I ended up deciding that she was pretty enough and in good enough shape for me to take with me for my own personal use. And so I put her in the cart. Next, we found this shoe shiner, and actually my mom had to explain that to me. People would take these with them, and inside they'd have all their tools and items that they needed to shine a shoe, and they just walk up to people on the street and you'd put your shoe on it and you'd pay them to shine your shoes. And I, read stories about that or seen it in movies and old movies, but had never actually seen one of them in person, so that was pretty cool. Next, I picked up this brass French horn. I've actually sold one of these before in my shop, and so I was like, hey, this one's sold before, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it. I think it was only $1.99, and this one actually had some of its made in India sticker on it, which my last one didn't. So yeah, that one in the cart. Next, I picked up this baby planter. It wasn't very good quality, and so I put it back. And then I saw this Native American a piece of art. I really loved it. I just thought it was really cool, but there was that big chip on the side there. So even though I loved the shape of it and the color, I just decided it was too much damage. And then I saw this really interesting egg. It was quite heavy, so I believe it's soapstone. And it said made in Kenya on the bottom, and it's been painted or carved. I'm not entirely sure. But there were no cracks or chips. It didn't have a price, but I ended up asking them, and they were nice enough to give it to me for 99 cents. After I think they said $1.99 at first, and I was like, how about 99 cents? And they're like, okay. Because it never hurts to ask, especially if there's not a price on it. Some places are stricter and they won't even sell it to you, like some Goodwills I know won't. But Salvation Army is a little bit different for me, at least here in Phoenix. And then, of course, I see a clown and I have to investigate. It does have a made in Taiwan sticker, and the way that the sticker looked kind of made me think that it probably was vintage, like maybe from the 80s or 90s. But it's supposed to go up and down, and it's a music box. And so when we attempted to get it to work, it did play the music and it had some movement, but the movement was not very good at all. It just it was actually quite sad. It was trying its best, like, come on, I want to do a jig for you. But then I was like, nope. It's seen better days. No jigs for us today. So we kept messing with it because, how I feel about clowns. And ultimately, like I said, it didn't work out. So we put it back and moved on. I picked up this piece of glass just because I was drawn to the shape of it, but I do think it's probably modern. So I ended up putting it back. And the next thing that I see these a lot, and I always pick them up, and I still don't even know if they're vintage or not, but I just love they give me like 60s vibes, like, the sunflower hippie kind of thing, but they're probably modern. I don't know. I just haven't really had a chance to investigate them really well because every time I see them, they're broken. They're chipped and broken. So I just don't even bother looking into them any further. So if anyone knows if they're modern or not, let me know in the comments. And then I saw this, and from far away, it looked like high quality glass decanter, crystal decanter, but it was a farce. It was very lightweight, so it was not leaded at all, and so for that reason I was no longer interested because it's not high quality, so I put that back. And then we found these little carts of stuff they hadn't put back. This darling little figurine had her arm missing, so that was disappointing because I really did like her. I checked this boy out, but he also had a chip on his hat there at the top. So, was just like, come on, we got to dig through this stuff and find some goodies. And so, of course, I see another nursery type planter. But again, the quality just wasn't there for me. saw this Corningware coffee pot, and it just actually was quite aged, and so I put it back down. The inside was pretty bad. And then my mom picked up these little Panama vases. They do look like really cool tourist pieces, and so I was considering them for a moment, but tourist pieces don't really sell so much for me, so I decided to pass on that one, even though they were really beautiful. Next, I decided to tackle this stack of plates, and then I saw these, and I was like, whoa, these look interesting. One of them said Timor BF Karamas, and the other plate said Timor Luna something France. And as it turns out, I believe Timor is the artist, and the different cities are the factories in which this artist painted this specific piece of art on the plate. I was drawn to them because as you can see, the blue looks like it's bleeding a bit into the plate, and that can oftentimes indicate that it has age, that it may be antique. And so I was just fascinated. And I was also fascinated the fact that it said France on the back, and yet it had this Asian theme. So I was very, very interested in that. I can't wait to research it even further. So I had to keep digging through the plates and saw these believe they were also Bavarian plates that had the let's see, yep, Bavarian at the bottom there, but they did have, you can see in the gold on the edges, it was really, really worn off, and some chipping too. So unfortunately, condition just wasn't up to par for me to grab those. And I'm pretty particular when it comes to plates. I don't really pick up plates very often. Just not my thing. And then I saw this piece of pink milk glass. I'm not as into milk glass unless it's a different color of milk glass besides the white, or if it's, like a uranium milk glass that lights up under a black light. But I thought this was really cool, and it looked like a compote bowl of some kind, and it does need some cleaning, but other than that, it was going to come with me. And that one was, I believe, $3.99, so $4. And then I saw this Rolls Royce book. I thought it was really cool, guys. It had so many amazing photographs in it. It did end up saying the copyright was from 1982. Now, I didn't actually pick this one up during this shopping trip, but the next time I was there, it was still there. And I don't know, there was something about it. It ended up not really being worth much. But I think I picked it up for $2, and it might be worth like $15 resale. So in any case, I might keep it for myself just because I think the photographs are beautiful, and I think it would make a really good coffee table book. And I just liked seeing the history in there of the car, of the Rolls Royce cars. So yeah, didn't pick it up then, but picked it up later. And then I saw this from afar, and I thought, maybe it's vintage? No, it's modern. So, but I had to at least try, because I've just been dying to pick up like a vintage or antique vanity tray like that. So this is what we got. We got the plates, the brass horn, the egg, the pink milk glass, and the umbrella. So I think we did okay, and I had a lot of fun, and I hope you had fun hanging out. All right, friends, so we ended up spending $12.94, which is pretty good.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah. And I would say that my favorite item was the soapstone egg. Yeah. That was a good find. Mm-hmm. Pretty intricate, and
yeah, but well done. Very detailed.
Yeah. So anyways, thanks for hanging out. If you liked what you saw, please give us a like, and if you want to see more videos, you've got to subscribe. Till next time, friends. Bye.